Welcome back to Road to a Million, where we don't just talk markets, we decode them, dissect them and serve them up on a silver platter. I'm George, your guide through the chaos, the drama and yes, the occasional market miracle. This week we're diving into the dollar's dominance, Europe's economic hiccups and why Canada decided to strut its stuff like it owns the place. And of course, we'll peek into next week's crystal ball. Let's go. All right, let's start with the headline grabber of the week, the US dollar. It's not just flexing, it's full-on Hulk mode. The DXY hit 108, its strongest since late 2022. Why? Geopolitics, baby. Ukraine lobbed some missiles at Russia and the Kremlin responded with nuclear saber rattling. Nothing says run to the dollar like global uncertainty. But here's the kicker. It wasn't just geopolitics. The euro and pound also helped the dollars rally by, well, collapsing. European PMIs, terrible. UK data, equally dreadful. It's like they got together and said, hey, let's make the dollar look even better. Spoiler, they succeeded. And let's not forget Canada. Oh, Canada, you beauty. While the euro and pound were tripping over themselves, the loonie held its ground. Thanks to a surprise uptick in CPI, the Canadian dollar stayed strong, showing us all it's not just a spectator in this global game. But don't get too comfy, there's talk of rate cuts. And that could change the narrative faster than a trader chasing a breakout. Now, let's talk next week. What's on the radar? Oh, just a few things that could shake the markets like a snow globe. First up, Australian CPI. The headline inflation is expected to rebound from 2.1% to 2.3%. That might not sound like much, but for the RBA, it's enough to keep their hawkish stance alive. Rate cuts in Australia? Not happening anytime soon. The Aussie might finally get its groove back, at least against its peers. Next, the RBNZ decision. This one's juicy. The market's betting on a 50 BPS rate cut. Why? Because New Zealand's economy is doing its best impression of a deflating balloon. Employment's down, wage growth is slowing, and inflation's back within target. But here's the twist. If they go bigger, like 75 BPS, you'll see the Kiwi nosedive harder than a rookie trader on leverage. Now let's cross over to Europe. Eurozone CPI is expected to tick up with headline inflation at 2.3% and core at 2.8%. Sounds bullish for the euro, right? Not so fast. The ECB's in a bind. Rate cuts might still be on the table if growth continues to stall, and if next week's CPI disappoints, parity for EURUSD might not just be a risk, it could be reality before year-end. Meanwhile, over in the Great White North, we've got Canada's GDP data. It's not blockbuster stuff, but it's expected to show modest growth. 0.2% month over month for September and 0.9% annualized for Q3. Nothing earth-shattering, but enough to keep the loonies steady. The real question? How will the Bank of Canada balance fiscal stimulus from Trudeau with economic pressures? That December rate cut decision just got a lot more complicated. And lastly, let's circle back to the big dog, the US. The Fed and ECB rate divergence is driving markets right now. The dollar's strength against the euro is all about rate spreads. If the ECB flinches and goes for a bigger cut, parity could be back on the table. Traders, keep your eyes on that OIS spread. It's your cheat sheet to where EURUSD is heading. So what did we learn today? The dollar's still king, Europe's stumbling, Canada's holding its own, and next week's shaping up to be a blockbuster. From Aussie inflation to New Zealand rate cuts and Eurozone CPI to Canada's GDP, there's no shortage of action. Here's your homework. Stay sharp, follow the data, and remember, the market doesn't wait for anyone, so neither should you. Thanks for tuning in to Edge-Forex Unfiltered. Don't forget to follow, share, and join the road to a million. We're not just making trades here, we're building legacies. I'm George, and I'll catch you next week. Until then, stay edgy, stay focused, and let's crush it.